Dude, Saxo here. Welcome to another Linux video. So today I'm taking a look at the Ubuntu 17.10 beta. Now, don't worry, I'm still definitely a Solus guy, but I do like having an Ubuntu-based distro installed on my secondary partition, and I've decided that I previously decided that when the final release of 17.10 comes out, I was going to go ahead and install that. But I decided to go ahead and install it while it's still in the beta, just to check things out, see how things are. And there have been a few changes. I just installed it yesterday, and I updated it today before I started this. I guess this stuff either just changed today, or maybe it changed previously and I just didn't update before. I don't know. Anyway, a few things. First thing you'll notice is the wallpaper. As you can see, they now have a mascot of an anime girl looking over a table with a bow in her hair. It's actually supposed to be an aardvark, but the first thing I saw was what I said before that. How that looks like a head, like big eyes, like his hair like a bow. Like that was the very first thing that I saw, and I cannot unsee that. But it's supposed to look like an aardvark because this release is codenamed Artful Aardvark. But that's not what it looked like to me the first time I saw it. Anyway, so that's, I guess that's the new wallpaper. So, not bad. Looks nice. Also recently updated is to GNOME 3.26, the latest stable release of GNOME, or GNOME, whatever. It's been out so many different ways of, like, 2 different ways. So many. 2 is too many. At least KDE and Plasma is obvious. Anyway, let's not start a desktop environment war here. So yeah, GNOME 3.26, pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen fetch because I don't remember what kernel we're running here. Okay, it's doing 4.12.0-13. So I'm assuming that's the latest stable kernel at the moment. Probably, I don't know. So of course, yeah, GNOME does use quite a bit of RAM, but I have 16 gigs, so I'm not worried about that. And from what I've heard, if your system starts to use more RAM, GNOME will happily use less or something. Like it just does that to perform better. Which, speaking of, this version of GNOME, for comparison, Solus still, at least the last time I checked, is still using the 3.24 version of GNOME. So I don't know if it's just a difference in GNOME versions, but like everything just feels so much snappier and smoother in this version of GNOME. So I don't know if it's Ubuntu or GNOME 3.26 or what, but yeah, it feels pretty good. At first, I thought it was just because of the Wayland session, because I was trying that earlier before with my old AMD graphics card to use the open source drivers and whatnot, which the Wayland session is not available if you are using NVIDIA proprietary drivers. You just won't have the option to change the session on the login screen. I did check that as well. But yeah, at first I thought it was just the Wayland session that was making things feel so nice and smooth, but no, it's just GNOME. So I guess they did some nice performance improvements or something. I don't know. Either way, it's only a good thing. Of course, before I updated, GNOME software was still having problems, although in this case, the only problems I encountered were when messing with snap packages. Like, doing other stuff seemed to go fine, but like with snaps, it seemed to take forever. Like, let's try Atom, for example, real quick. You gonna ask for my password? Why aren't you asking for my password? Maybe that's because of the Snapcraft login thing? I don't know. Anyway, that's Atom. We're going to see if it plays nicely when I'm recording, so that I can't demonstrate what I was talking about. Because when I tried installing GIMP, I just installed the version that it showcased on the front page there that we could see, and it just hung at 99% like I thought Atom was about to do there, but it didn't. So whatever. We have Atom now. Let's grab Discord. Okay, I don't know, why did it not ask me for my password? Because before, even when I installed, like, when I was installing GIMP yesterday, it's had me do the Snapcraft login stuff, which, yeah, whatever. Not a huge fan of that, but then again, who the fuck cares? But, and it still asks for my regular password, though. That's interesting. Anyway, there you go, GNOME software. Working fine today when it wasn't yesterday, of course, which, I mean, that's a good thing, I guess, but Okay, it's working fine. I tend to give GNOME software shit because it tends to not work very well, but it looks like it's working fine. Okay, I guess it's because of the Snapcraft login. I don't know. I thought it would still ask for my regular password to install software because usually it does, but I guess not because the Snap Store login. I don't know. What's LXD? System Container Manager and API. Not something I would know anything about. Okay. Anyway, there you go. Apparently GNOME software is working just fine today, although I guess this is now the stable release, not the 3.25 dash whatever the hell. So there you go. Software Center is working fine. Well, I shouldn't call it Software Center. That was the old thing. Anyway, that's working just fine. Okay, so by default, the buttons, they are on the right side in Ubuntu 17.10. I just changed them, well, it's not through that. You change it to the tweak tool. So in the tweak tool, you can you not, fan? You guys probably can't hear that, but I can, and it's annoying as hell. It's like doing things, probably because I never turned it off. But anyway, don't worry about my fan. So yeah, by default, it's on the right. Tweak tool lets you move it on the left. I like having it on the left, and okay, also before I updated to 3.26 and everything today, the close button, whatever, they were on like the inside of this, so I guess that got fixed too, so yay for that. Yeah, pretty much any problems I was having previously seem to be fixed with the latest stable version of GNOME, so that's good. That's definitely a good thing as we approach the final release of Ubuntu 17.10. That's still like a month away. But anyway, I think by default, yeah, by default, I also have all the buttons. This is what it would look like by default. I'm weird, so I've started preferring things on the left side and with only the close button because I don't like maximize. Just double click and then drag it down when you're done. It's not that hard. I don't use the maximize button. Minimize, don't need it with GNOME. Anyway, I mean, sometimes I use it, but I do it like this. Well, I think that's the thing I need to set in the tweak tool. Anyway, don't worry about that. Rambling. I also changed it to resize the secondary click. That's not important. Okay, 17.10. So, right, GNOME settings has this. It's been here in previous releases for 17.10 and like other the development versions going towards GNOME 3.26. But this is the new settings window for those who have not seen it. It's definitely very different from the previous one, but it's, you know, makes enough sense, I guess. I don't really care too much. I don't really go into settings too often. Usually I'm good. Because usually I just set and forget, you know. Got your online accounts, of course. Then all your hardware-related stuff is down here under devices. So, yeah, it works well enough for what it is. Not too bad. So earlier I did mention I like to have an Ubuntu-based install for like, I didn't say why, I don't think, but I like to have one for various things that are only really available as like either a deb file or previously as a snap, but now both snaps and flatpaks are available on Solus, so that kind of becomes a bit more of a moot point. Especially because many of the things that were only available as a .deb or something like that are also available as snaps. So I have less and less reason to run an Ubuntu-based install. But I still like looking at a lot of the latest releases of other distros from time to time. And since Ubuntu 17.10 is a massive change from the previous versions of Ubuntu, I just wanted to take a look at it. Seemed pretty cool. Okay, also we got Rhythmbox. For some reason it wasn't enabled by default, but it does ship now with the alternative toolbar plugin. So that gives it client-side decorations and just a lot more modern of a look, because without that, it looks more like this. Which is fine, but alternative toolbar definitely looks better. Why is it taking so long for that menu to pop up? Come on. Hello? Hello? Plugins, please? Rhythm box? Hold on. I got this. Rhythm box. But stop popping up on that screen. Where did my options go? What happened? Where? What? Where are my options? Where did options go? Why are they up there now? I'm so confused. Okay, turn that back on. Good. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's still up in the top. What? Whatever, I don't know. Either way, yeah, the alternative toolbar thing makes it look a lot more modern and a lot nicer. That's cool. I prefer Clementine as my music client, which sadly is not available on Solus yet. But, yeah. There's that. Files is pretty standard as is. As far as I know, not a lot's really changed with this. But, yeah. I think that's most of the big changes to go over. So, another thing to keep in mind, if you are on like open source drivers, like if you're using an AMD card or something, you will have the Wayland session available to you. Will not be able to use OBS to record stuff because OBS still seems to rely on like don't look at that. That would look terrible. Still seems to rely on like Xorg, X server stuff. One way around that is to go through a capture device, which I was thinking like I should demonstrate that, but no, I can't do the Wayland session on an NVIDIA card with proprietary drivers, so, oh well. Hopefully some point relatively soon I'll be able to get an AMD graphics card, because it's just, especially with Linux nowadays, with how AMD has been going with all their open sourcing of stuff, it's be a lot more convenient to have an AMD card on Linux nowadays, a modern AMD card. Although even like the AMD 7000 series works just fine. So, yeah. Anyway, that was my relatively quick look. For one of my Linux videos, a relatively quick look at Ubuntu 17.10 Artful Aardvark. Still in beta, of course. Should be coming out this October. Well, I mean, it will be. It will be. They don't really tend to miss release months. Anyway, if you guys like this, want to see more things like this, I've also thought about taking a look at like Fedora and whatnot. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you want to see more things like this. I'll probably still do more regardless. It's just fun to hear feedback. Anyway, till next time, this has been Axel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you dudes in the next one.